Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. We're here with Keisha James. Actually, she's my best friend, my wife, and the better 3/4 of me. Welcome to the show, Keisha.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry, he doesn't like the word sir. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So we want to talk a little bit about Praise in the Park.
Yeah.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about this Praise in the Park.
Well, Praise in the Park, I don't want to get away from your questions, but I got to say it. So anyway, when COVID hit, I just felt the Lord drawing to still preach the word, get it out there. And how do you do that? We weren't allowed to go inside buildings, and you had this amount of people that you could have in the building, so can't reach people in that aspect, so said take it outside. So I took it outside, and the Lord was really good, and I was like, Lord, I'm just gonna let you lead. Whatever you say, I'll do. So what's the title? Praise in the Park. Where you want it? How do you go about that? So I went walking. And I don't know how anybody else prays, but I go where the Lord tells me to go, and he led me to Salisbury City Park, and he plainly said, this is it. And why is that, Lord? It's the heart. So how do you get to people? The heart. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. So I'm listening. So put a group of people together, and since then we've been feeding the homeless. And what we do is we get people to donate some hot dogs and some burgers and some chips and water. Keep it simple, because we want to feed them, but we want them to get the meat. We want them to get the word. So, get a couple of speakers, and started out with my son-in-love. And now that we're married, I get the best speaker of them all. And then we just have the music and take it from there.
Nice. Now, how long have you been doing this?
Since COVID.
Since COVID.
So we basically had the first 2 services in 2020, actually. So we've been doing 2 a year since then.
Wow. So
one in the spring, one in the fall.
Now, as far as getting volunteers, has been hard to get volunteers, or?
To some extent, it's mainly been a church thing, an in-house church thing. But I'd like for the community to be more involved, because again, we're feeding the homeless. It's to benefit them, and it is to get the word out about Jesus, because his return is soon. So we want to make sure that people are ready.
Nice. Now, I think I actually saw the advertisement somewhere on Facebook.
Just posted it actually, but our next Praise in the Park is September 20th. And just want to give a shout out to our mayor, because he's very helpful with that, and by providing the park for us. We're always at the bandstand and at the pavilion there. So if you'd like to come out and serve or help in any way, maybe sing, or even give a testimony, because how is it? Say the scripture. I don't want to mess it up. Won by
by the blood of
the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
So
I'd like everyone to be a part, because this is what we do. We're called to serve.
Nice. Now, I think I saw it on Eastern Shore Undercover. It was good to see Earl and Spring put that out.
Yes, I'm very thankful for that, because they do have a lot of followers.
Yes, they do. Now, the Bishop Dickerson over to the Christian Shelter, is he involved with this?
He is aware, and I'd like to talk to him about being more involved, because I do, we actually, my husband and I, we serve the Christian Shelter the second Tuesday of every month, so we'll be doing that tomorrow too. So if anyone would like to come out and help with that, we'd love to have you. So I'm just pretty much keeping him aware of a lot of things that we're doing in the community for our homeless.
And as far as Halo?
Halo. Haven't really reached out to them a whole lot.
Okay.
But you know, I see the people out there a lot. We
Sure,
ride
sure.
by a lot, so it's word of mouth when it comes to that. But I don't know why. It's just primarily we've been working with the Christian shelter. No shade, no hate, or
Right,
anything like
right.
that. It's just the way it's fallen into our laps. It's how God is working.
Well, I do know, thank you. The last time we had the Praise in the Park, actually I had the opportunity to go to around the Halo shelter area, actually not at Halo, but the old Rite Aid there. It's actually now fenced off, and there was a lot of the homeless laying out there, and along with a couple other of the brethren, we were able to get them to come out, and this definitely does reach the community out there. Now,
Yes, definitely.
what are some of the things that you offer the homeless when they come out there?
Well, we have, if you're referring to our blessing bags, we do receive donations for those also, whether it be monetary or the actual needs for the bags, which are usually some body wash, male and female, you know, and some deodorant. Those are helpful. And just your basic toiletries, toothpaste, toothbrush, and we usually leave a non-perishable food item in there.
Okay, okay, awesome. And so how many people that you're expecting, or how many people do you usually expect, and how do you prepare for this? I actually know, I just want them to know.
How do I prepare? Lots of involvement with the church so far, with the providing of the food and such. And those needs basically are the hot dogs, the burgers, chips, and water. And for the blessing bags, of course. So
You watch the weather report?
no, I never do that. You know why? Because when Jesus gives me a date, I know he's going to honor it. He's going to follow through with it. The last one, the last Praise in the Park that we had, my husband, he was saying, "Have you seen the weather report?" I'm not worried about that. And he was like, "But have you seen it?" I'm like, "I'm not worried about that." So when the day came, it was a little cloudy, and I was like, "Lord, you're gonna have to lift these clouds for me." And he was speaking, and he just said, "Keep going." Not knowing that, I've mentioned this before, that we met a little opposition from
No kings. There was a no kings rally.
anti-rally. And like I said, Jesus spoke and he said, keep going. So that's what I'm going to do, you know, no matter what the outcome is. Each time we have these, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep spreading the word of Jesus and keep feeding our homeless, because the word says when you've done to the least of these, you've done these things unto me. So that's paraphrasing, of course.
Sure.
But that's what we're here to do.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you again. When we come back, we will have Pastor Craig Mitchell, who has been putting together some prayer vigils. Actually, we had an opportunity to be a part of that earlier, and he's been working towards getting another one. You don't want to miss that. Stay tuned.
There we go.
Okay, we are back. We're back here with Pastor Craig Mitchell. Pastor Mitchell.
Good day to you. Good day to you.
Good to see you,
Good
sir.
to see you again as well.
yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
You know, I'm Craig Mitchell, born and raised in this area. I'm an educator for 16 years, going into year 17. Also a pastor in this area. Been pastoring for 4 years now.
Okay.
Supernatural Faith Center here in Salisbury, Maryland.
Okay. Now, you said you are a teacher.
Yes.
Aren't you also something else with the teachers?
Oh, yes. I'm the vice president of the local teachers union, Wacomico County
Okay.
Educators Association. Yes.
Awesome. So you're involved.
I am involved. Yes.
Awesome. So the way that you and I got to meet was a prayer vigil during a tragic time that
Yes.
happened here. You want to talk a little bit about that prayer vigil?
Absolutely. So, my church that I pastor, we would frequently have outdoor gatherings, outdoor services downtown Salisbury at the amphitheater. And, but however, about a year ago, things hit close to home. There was a young man age 10, that attended our church frequently, was prematurely, his life was taken by gun violence. And so that really, definitely everyone close to him definitely took a toll on us, as well as the community. Very tragic incident that really was the piece that really birthed the idea of a prayer vigil. People were constantly, asking. I could be in Sam's Club or somewhere, and they would just be like, "Oh, did you hear about what's happening with the young man? And what are we gonna do? I don't hear anybody saying anything. I don't hear anybody doing anything. No balloon release, or how the typical things that we normally do." And so I just, when it came to ministry aspect, I like to sometimes stay in my shell and just be
Observe a little bit, yeah.
just observe. But it just kept weighing on me because of the connection that I had. So I finally, was definitely led by the Lord to have that prayer vigil and wanted to bring the community together. In fact, that particular week, that young man wasn't the only child that lost their lives. So a lot of things were happening that week. So the city of Salisbury was definitely in pain. They were definitely grieving. So they needed a time of community to come together to give that support and say, hey, we may not understand exactly what you're going through. We're not in your shoes, but we know what to do. We can offer some things to you to help you get through. And so that's how we all met.
Now, how did you get so many? Because there was a lot of people there.
It was.
How did you get that many people together so quickly?
It was. It was amazing. It was very amazing, eyebrow raising, moment for me, because I didn't expect, that turnout as it was. All I just know is the moment I hit the send button on my social media page, people begin to share it. At that particular time, the city of Salisbury officials were just, hey, we want to know when you want to do this, and send me the flyer and we'll share it. So they shared it, and so everybody just began to share it and get a whiff of it, and they began to come out, and it was a tremendous outpouring.
Absolutely. It was a good feeling. There was a lot of different churches from a lot of different areas out there, but everybody came together in one mind, one accord, and if you know the Bible, there's power in that.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, yes. And that's what needs to be seen more. Unity.
Yes.
We're seeing a lot of divisiveness, and when unfortunately we are seeing division associated a lot, especially in the political arena. And there's a lot of healing that needs to take place holistically in so many facets, and so unity is where it's at, And what I liked about that prayer vigil is that those that were in attendance were, different genders, ethnicities.
Oh yes, backgrounds,
different
everything.
Denominations.
Sure.
Everybody although we knew everybody's political party, none of that mattered. It just took that tragedy to say, hey, we feel your pain, and we're setting this aside, and we're coming out.
Now, and that was the plus side. And now, I don't want to put the negative light on things, but it seemed like the hype around it was, let's do this again. But then as soon as you try to plan it the second time,
oh yes,
opposition.
Yes, there was much opposition. And in fact, at this moment of this taping, there's still, opposition, and for me, because I'm not I'm only used to the ministry arena and of course the educational aspect, arena, but I've got to see in the planning and strategies so many, parties and ideologies and all of those things. And everybody, after that first, let's go, let's do it, when's the next one? But after that first one, the city of Salisbury began to duck my calls. Just the systems, you can tell from an outsider looking in that there were systems in place are faulty.
Right.
Because you would get a hold of someone via phone call and they would say, oh, we'll get back to you, it's in the email.
Right.
And so the systems was just, you can just tell there's a lot of faultiness that needs to be repaired within the municipal government here in Salisbury.
Sure.
In addition to that aspect, just even some of the political parties, figures that represent the city that were out there that first one just disappeared. They stated that, just let us know when you want to do it. And it was just a political response in that moment, but they really disappeared. As, the young people say, they ghosted us,
Wow.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's
and
unfortunate.
then the additional obstacle was finances. They began to charge us. They wanted to charge us
For Unity Square.
for Unity Square. How does something that was intended to be for the community is now using profit to be the reason why people can't come together for a good cause, and
Absolutely.
so that's disheartening.
Sure it is.
And so, my perspective is, if you're going to have something in place and you say it's for that particular reason, like if you say something is for the young people, you don't take it away from them.
No.
If you say Unity Square, it's called Unity Square, right? That's the way I see it. It's called Unity Square.
I agree.
But there's no unity, in that. And so those have been the barriers. And then surprisingly, a lot of what we would call the upper echelon of faith-based leaders are not active. They would not, they would not be open to, open the doors, even when it's cold, to open the doors to their church and say, hey, the third Wednesday, we got you. You can have it. You can have it here. And so those have been the barriers that I can only speak. I'm called to speak the truth.
Sure. Yeah, and that's what we need.
I'm called to speak the truth. And so those are the obstacles in my press to do things in the community that I've had. And these are ongoing things.
And I remember, thank you, Pastor Mitchell, you actually reached out to me in the Bridging the Gap, and we actually went to the city council meeting, and we made comment about that. And when we did, the mayor, did come up to me afterwards and said, listen, we're going to be able to work something out. Let's just go ahead and do step 1, step 2, and then we'll work. So we're waiting to see what else can be moved, but I made sure that point was made, and I agree. There were a lot of political figures, and here was the unique thing. There were political figures, and we'll have another guest on in a few minutes. He can maybe shed a little light on that. Whatever political figures that I know for a fact stood against Franklin Graham Cumming that were out there. There were ones that were out there for the photo op. Let's just say it like that. They were out there for the photo op, but they stand against even Christian belief. So my question is, was it a photo op for some? And maybe that's why we're having such a hard time doing it again.
Because when you see something that's drawing attention, unfortunately, everyone doesn't come out for the right reasons.
Right.
Some see it for, just
Especially during political season.
If it's political season, you need re-election, you need some clout, publicity, all of that, and so, and that is the downside of that, Unfortunately, people will take a good thing and kind of like manipulate it,
Yes.
to fit, where they need to at that moment.
I can say this. We doing Praise in the Parks with my wife. She actually did this before we were actually married, so this has been something that God put on her way before. But as I've been doing Praise in the Parks with her, I remember the first time we actually linked up through Delegate Beecham, who got in touch with. At that point, we didn't have a relationship with the Mayor Taylor, but Mayor Taylor actually came out and he spoke to the homeless. He was new in office, and he was like, "Hey, I know there's an issue with homelessness, and I'm out here." The next time he helped us to get it set up and stuff, but like I said, I didn't feel like it was a photo op for him because he really didn't even want to come
genuine.
up. He didn't want to come up front. However, while we're out there, we mentioned that No Kings rally.
Right.
They were the same people.
There's opposition. So
Absolutely, and it seemed like the same. Actually, once elected right now, that was actually at the prayer vigil. She was part of the No Kings rally.
Right.
She was actually. That was the day she declared her running for county executive, if I can remember. So my question is, if they're not genuine, then why say that they're going to back you, and then when you come back and say, "Hey, I want to get it done again," because again, this wasn't something for profit. The only profit was for the community to come together. Am I correct?
Right.
You didn't make no money off these.
No, I didn't make any money. In fact, I spent money out of my own pocket. That's because that's how serious I was.
yeah. That's how I was in the beginning also. A lot of the money came out of my pocket. And so that's why I was like, okay, Lord, you're going to have to help me out here.
Right,
because there's no way. I'm like, you want me to do this? I'm going to need your provision right now. So that's when I started asking, which I don't like to ask anyone for anything. But it's like, look, this is for our community. Can you help me out here?
And the unique thing is, you're doing it for the homeless. You're doing it for the ones that are going through. These both are situations where there should be people wanting to give. I can say again, getting back to Eastern Shore Undercover, I remember the one we did, they gave blankets and
yes.
I think we had some other
to
people.
Go to their home and pick up blankets.
Yes, we had people from, there were some political figures, there wasn't many. But again, I mean, it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. We're definitely going to work on getting this together. We're going to go ahead and take another break, and we're going to come back with our third guest. We're going to have who I like to call Mr. Community, Jermichael Mitchell. So stay tuned. We'll be right. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? By the way?
No, I'm good. I'm just glad to be on the platform. But
Yes,
we need the community. It's unity is in community. I'll lead that.
Yes. That's my saying too.
Yes.
But two or more.
Amen.
All right. We'll be right back. We are back. Okay, we are back, everyone, and now we have Mr. Community. Jermichael Mitchell has joined us.
Good to
Jermichael,
see you,
how
sir.
you been?
I'm well. Good to see you as well.
Yes.
Good to meet you as well. Yes,
All right. First question I'm asking you is, are you and Pastor Mitchell over here related?
Look, you know how it goes, man. When you have the same last name, we are related somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
We just haven't figured it out yet.
You got a similar passion for the community, though.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit of what's going on in the community from your perspective.
Man, so, again, it's that back to school time. A lot of people are doing back to school drives, different churches, different community organizations, man. So that's really the main pitch right now, just trying to work towards getting those kids back to school. I mean, there's no kid that should go back to school without supplies. I say that all the time.
I like that.
Especially with the amount of drives that'll be happening in our community for kids to have supplies, book bags, and things of that nature. So we do a good job of trying to cover that. And then, of course, as the pastor said earlier, I'm just trying to pray. A lot of people are having back to school prayers as well that's happening. I've seen 2 so far. I believe more will pop up. But just trying to put a coverance over our teachers, our children,
That's good.
As they go back to school and try to have the right mindset. So
Okay.
I like that.
That's right.
Yeah. So you and Pastor Mitchell, y'all have known each other for a while.
Yeah. So worked in the school system myself for 5.5 years. He was in there way longer than I was. But he also has a passion for other things. He's a track track coach, basketball coach.
wow.
So we've connected over the
Okay.
years through those things. I've been in middle staff and administration for a long time. I was at Bennett Middle for a couple of years, and we work well together. You know, again, having men in our school system
Yes.
is a key thing because it changes the way children act.
Strong men of God is what we need in our school systems for sure. So we appreciate you.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. And so both of you have worked with the executive too, huh?
Yeah. So she was a teacher at the time. I kind of, at the one point in time, she had went to high school, and I became the middle school girls basketball coach at that time.
Okay.
So that was a thing. But yeah, we had a lot of interaction with her as a teacher. You know, again, you know, people felt how they felt then about her as well as a
Right.
teacher.
Right.
I've never had any bad experiences with her. Yeah, bro, talk, as a teacher, I never had a bad experience with her. And there was times we had great conversation about, you know, she was struggling with a kid, she couldn't figure it out. So
Nice.
it's better to ask than people that, like you said,
Right.
actively involved in the community
Right.
or may have a different perspective. So I can respect her for asking those questions at the
I
time.
like that.
Nice. What about you? How was your interacting with the executive?
Oh, first of all, I was actually surprised that she actually ran for county executive. You know, because I'm just used to her, you know, teaching and you know, coaching basketball, but never
Did not know she was a coach.
Yeah, never one moment
Explains
that
so
we
much.
knew that one day I'm going to be leaving education just
Wow.
to run the county.
Yeah, so-
But I've never had any, you know,
Right.
any bad encounters with her at all. You know,
Okay.
I got much love for Julie.
Okay, so I'm
Amen.
learning we got a bunch of coaches out here.
Yes.
This is awesome, especially when we're talking about community here. So I actually last week we were at a Shorebirds game, and I happened to look on my phone and see that there was a lot of happening over there by YMCA. You want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Michael?
for sure, man. Big shout out to the County Parks and Rec, Mr. Brian Workman, for first off allowing us to do the event. Of course, you know, when events like that happen, there's a fear factor that comes into play, whether county or city. But he was able to work with us. We were able to have a safety plan put in place just in case something was to happen. But we have a culture around the 1v1, one-on-one basketball scene and the 2v2 basketball scene. We live in a social media world, and content is everything. So now you have players who are building content. They're going around traveling, playing basketball in different places, making a name for themselves. So I first want to give a shout out to Trey Morse. It's a little cousin of mine, a little brother of mine. He's also one of the coaches in the community. He put it together, him and a guy named Nelson Brown, where I came into play, and it's like one of my biggest things. I always try to play the background to support people.
Nice.
Right? Like it's one of
Nice.
those things where I've made a lot of connections in the community. I know a lot of people. So I try to always use that to push us further. So I was able to sit down. I was able to bring some things to the table to help, you know, make sure we had the insurance, to make sure that we had the safety plan in place, and to know that, you know, I was going to be around along with others from the community to be security, to be safety, you know, make sure that we can do this again.
You did your own security, didn't you?
Yeah, so we had Kurt was out there, a gentleman that we worked with well. Wacomico County Police were out there, and it was the plus for us was they allows us to police ourselves. That was a big
I like
thing,
that.
man. Where
I like
they
that.
didn't walk around, you know, they didn't mix and mingle because we asked them not to. Because again, you know, from our community, that relationship hasn't all the way healed. So a lot of times their presence at times makes us more of a fear factor than it does of us feeling safe.
Wow.
And
Wow.
they adhered, man. They literally stayed in the back by the pickleball courts. I went back and we would check in with them to make sure everything was okay. The only thing we had to do again was move some cars that was in the handicap parking. Other than that, we literally had an
Everybody wants that
Park
close
in the
park.
handicap park.
So, but other than that, man, it was an amazing community event, man. I
Nice.
couldn't tell you the numbers that were out there. Astronomically, man, it was just an amazing event. And as she said before, when you put God first, which Trey and myself did, man, you know, it's going to blossom. It's going to flourish. So it did that, and we were just grateful, and we look forward to doing it again.
Wow. We've been talking about coaching here. I've noticed a lot online that you stay coaching.
Yeah. That's my life, man. My livelihood. A few years back, I lost my nephew. He was 5 years old, and he was playing.
Sorry to hear that.
And as he was playing again, man, it was a turnaround for me because I poured so much into my community. I poured so much into people, and to get the love and admiration when he passed away, I heal by being around children. It's a
Nice.
big
Wow.
thing for me. You know, so
Wow,
coaching
right.
is key because you know, it just helps heal me. It gives me that edge that I don't feel the depression about what happened with
Right.
him. You know, so I've always found ways again to be a self-healer, man. What can I do, giving back to my community that can also heal me?
Yes.
So coaching is one of those things.
Okay. Wow.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, yes, man.
Yeah. So it's not just something you're doing.
Yeah.
It's a passion.
Yeah, it's a passion, and it got to be, man. With anything that you do, man, if you can wake up every day and not get paid to do it, then you really love it. Right? That's a big thing.
That's right.
You know, this reminds me of something I said. I was talking to David Downs, who's on the board over there for the Christian shelter, and he was telling me, this was some years back, how trying to keep people working, and notice I said working at the Christian shelter, he can't keep employees. And I told him then that when a person's doing something like that, as long as it's a passion, they'll do it. But when they start noticing it as a job,
Yeah.
they lose interest.
They lose interest fast.
You know?
Especially people of minority descent. Just to be real with you, man. Like, we are free spirits, so at times, you know, again, there's supposed to be boundaries, but we like to work in our own ways at times.
Sure.
You know, like you said, when it becomes a job, that's when you no longer want to do it. You know, like, coaching can become a job. Like you said, we pay money, we spend time, a lot of time with other people's children when they don't even want to spend time with their children, man. So that is a big thing, man. You know, like coming out of pocket. But again, it's a blessing, right? I'm a firm believer when you plant a seed, many more seeds are going to come because that's going to grow into something later on.
Right.
So you're going to forever be prosperous. It's always going to turn into a positive as long as you plant good seeds. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's true. Thank you.
One of the topics that we're talking about today is mental illness and being aware of that.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a lot of young people that you work with. Are they open to tell you that they have these?
Yeah, so it's twofold. One, kids of today are very honest. Like, sometimes too honest, right? Sometimes they're a little too honest. But a lot of kids already know their diagnosis, which to me is
concerning.
It's concerning, one, because we know in the African American community, especially the minority community, we are misdiagnosed, right?
Yes.
Our children have high energy. Our children are also alpha males, especially the boys. So sometimes their assertiveness can be seen as aggression, right? So when you're telling little Johnny to keep sitting down, maybe you're dulling him down because he's a high spirit.
Especially when they sedate him with pills.
Correct. So
Right.
that was my next portion. You sedated little Johnny from 4 to 6, and now you're telling him, well, that medicine is no longer strong enough. So now you done switch it to a stronger medication.
Right.
When you play with psychotropics, right, which control the mind, you're playing a very dangerous game.
Right.
And then later on, and we just talked about it off air, when he's 20, 25, he can no longer seem to have a mental grasp on reality.
Wow.
Right.
You've played with his meds so many years over his life.
How can he focus?
How can he focus? How can
He
his
becomes
mind?
addicted to stuff.
Correct. And I tell people all the time, do your research before you put your children on medication, because you may be using your child as a lab rat. Do they really know the results of what's going to happen? No, because each child is different. So again, you can't tell me that my son's going to act like your son on a medication because both of their bloodlines are different. Both of their genealogy is different.
And who knows that they really need the medication.
Exactly. Right. So I'm a firm key believer. Early on, put kids in high level activities so they can get tired. Then when they get home, they don't got as much energy. They go to sleep. That's been a normality for us. We ran around the yard for how long? A road bikes for how long?
When there was
too much electronics instead of going outside to play.
But I do also remember when there was a discipline problem, there wasn't some kind of a medical term for it. It was called get a spanking.
For sure. No, it was one of those things where your grandmother, you knew, right, in that neighborhood, what you could and couldn't do. You knew it. We never gave excuses about anyone. Again, we didn't even know unless it was Down syndrome when we were kids.
Right,
Other than Down syndrome, physically, we never knew if someone had a mental health issue. It wasn't used as a crutch when we were kids.
No.
Right
Or
now
an
in today's
excuse.
society, correct. It's always using an excuse or a crutch. You know what I mean?
Now, Pastor Mitchell, of course, from the ministry aspect, I mean, are people more open, or you've got to kind of like search to know that?
In my neck of the woods, you gotta search. You really, it's more like, it's hidden. Most of the times you don't realize that someone is dealing with something mentally, number one, unless they tell you.
Right.
Or number two, unless it's a moment where it's high energy and it comes out when they have that moment. So that's what I see it. And the time that we live in, as we would say, life is lifing. and it will make an impact on you no matter who you are, what age you are, from a mental standpoint. And I think that's really, yes, I agree, it's totally about, using mental illness as a sickness, but there's really people that need help but don't know how to deal with that. And so the only thing they know is to suppress it, don't realizing that they're suppressing it is actually destroying them.
Because they may not even understand what's going on.
Exactly. Mom, we were talking off camera, and I won't use her name because we're on camera, but my wife actually had a young lady she dealt with out there, homeless, and there was something underlying that kept her out there, but since she was out there, I'll let you explain a little bit more.
Well, she was out there, so of course she liked it because it was easy access to her drug. But my thing is, to treat that drug, you put it on methadone. To me, that's just another drug. But by the grace of God, she said, I'm ready to go home. But the thing is, she's still here on a daily basis because she relies on that methadone. So for me, one drug to treat another one is still an addiction.
Facts. And to chime in on that, I'm a holistic person. I believe you have to heal the mind, body, and soul in order for a person to no longer be on drugs. So a lot of times, like she just said, if you're giving a person a stronger drug than what they're already using in the streets, and they're still becoming addictive that have to come to you for that drug, then are we truly healing people?
No.
We're creating more addicts just in a different way, right? So again, it's literally about true healing, which is holistically, like you said, it takes the mind, body, and spirit to do such a thing. And if you're not attacking it on all of those levels, you're never really going to get healed.
That's good.
Well, that's where I'm going to take it biblically. It's like you have to repent. Acts 2:38, repent, be baptized in the name of Jesus, and you will receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. When you receive the gift of the Holy Ghost, where the Spirit is, sickness cannot dwell. So your strength and your healing comes from Him. It comes from Jesus. So that's where that's where we have to keep on pressing, keep getting the word out there about Jesus, and that will solve a lot of things. But that's a whole different level.
Well, no, actually, that's good point to make. My concern is here locally when it comes to trying to get the word out. You've got a lot of opposition. You've got the pastor over there that wants to do a prayer vigil, and because it's not politically something that's going to help them, they're not helping. They're putting dispensaries right in front of Halo. You've got there's too many other things going on here, and it seems like nobody's trying to help. So the question is, as leaders, what do you do next?
So I've always been the red carpet treatment. I've always felt like when it's nonprofit, when it's community oriented, when it's youth oriented, there should be a red carpet of things that are lined out and rolled out that are different compared to someone who's doing something for profit. Right. There should be the red carpet. I had a friend recently, we call him Pet, but his name is Keontae Bratton. He does a 4th of July barbecue. Had to jump through all of these hurdles and hoops to do this event, right, in our community that he's coming out of pocket to do. For a person like that who is putting all the money and the energy into something, I consider that a red carpet treatment.
Right.
Tell him everything he needs to do. Help him do those things. That way he doesn't
be
fall
a help
into...
and not a hindrance.
Correct. And the biggest piece is, again, when it comes to certain things in the community, prayer visuals and things of that nature aren't making money. This isn't a money-grabbing opportunity.
No. Right.
This is a community-based opportunity. So again, personally, when we were involved with the city, that is where your community relations manager came into place. That is where your youth development people came into place. Because when someone partners with these people who are city officials, there should be no cost. The city should be involved in a prayer visual.
I like that.
They should be involved in Praise in the Park. They should be involved in these things.
I like that.
Because now when you're involved, there's free, right? The city already owned the park. So what are we talking about renting it for when the city's involved with it? The city has to do community-oriented things. They have to do youth-oriented things. So why not partner for free?
So there is a board, there is a
Yeah, I won't. I don't want to say names because I don't know
Right.
if she's moved up in her position. Kevin Lindsay was the former neighborhood relations manager. They changed that into a community relations manager. I'm a former youth development specialist. So these positions were created, and they're still in existence. They have people. They may have taken my job and his job and split it down to a couple of different positions.
Changed it, right.
But there are people again who work in these departments who are supposed to do these things.
So these are people we need to be reaching out to. We
Correct.
need to be aware of them.
Correct. The housing and community development, again, I personally don't think they do a great job. No disrespect to Mr. Miraboda or anyone who works in that office, but it should be known that you can call and connect with the youth development specialist. That person should have
Yeah.
videos.
I didn't even know about them.
Correct.
Right.
They should have, again, the city needs to do a better job of letting people know what's out there for services, right? They should have the homeless coordinator do an interview. They should have the youth development specialist do an interview. They should have.
There is a homeless. There is a lady.
Yeah. They brought her back. The homeless lady.
I remember.
She
I
left,
remember.
and then they brought her back.
Yeah.
So it's people in positions. The Housing and Community Development Department of the City of Salisbury is the one who handles community issues and community things. Whether that's Truett Street Community Center, whether that's our parks,
Wow.
no matter
Right.
what that is, there is people in place that you're supposed to contact. But again, like you said, they're not as easy accessible as they should be.
So can we just find them, social media?
So you, and that's the craziest part, because I don't personally like the city website. I'm not
Okay.
against whoever's doing it.
Right,
I just
right.
always feel like, you go on a school website, you can see all the principals, you can see all the teachers, you get their
Okay.
email, you get their phone, you get what I'm saying? There should be that same type of directory on the city website. If the schools can do it, the
Right.
city can do it. So instead of you going on, you got to search for all of these things. Well, if
Yeah.
I'm looking for the neighborhood relations manager, I should be able to click on housing community development, and the housing and community development picture should be there with her email, with her number, with a little description.
Wow.
And you should be able to go down
Sure.
in every position in that housing and community development place office. There should be a person with a face to that person, right? Because they are a community servant. They work for the city. They work for us.
Right.
Taxes pay these people's salaries. They should be easy accessible.
Right. And the name of that person is, again, just so if anyone's listening and they want to
So
reach out.
I believe
and find
at
out.
the time when Kevin Lindsay's situation happened, her name was Rachel Manning. She was they changed it to the community relations manager or something.
Maybe
of
we
that
need to
nature,
try to get them on the
instead
show.
of neighborhood relations manager. But yeah, she would be a wonderful person to contact because again, they have free events at Truett Street. They do things.
Right.
It's just not well publicized, I believe. So, yeah.
Wow, Mr. Information.
Taught me something new today.
Yeah. She goes from Mr. Community to Mr. Information.
Right?
This is good. Okay. Again, this is the whole reason for bridging the gap. We want to definitely bridge the gap between those that are either misinformed or have no information and those that have the
Right.
information. And this is good. This
And
is
this
good.
is the way to get right to the source.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I remember dealing, well, not me personally, but our county executive, when she was dealing with issues, it was due to misinformation.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what it is. Like I said, no knock to Mr. Taylor. I'm not to get on the
Sure,
political side.
sure.
But it's not our job. It's not our mayor's job to do community things.
Right.
Right. They're not. It's not our county exec's job to do community things.
Right.
It's their job to empower people in the community to do
Indeed.
community
Community things.
Right. So many people look at them for the
Wow,
answer.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not the case. We have the answers. We just need them to open some doors. Right? Once they open some doors, we already have the services and the projects and the mindset to do great work. We just need to be empowered. And that's the
Right.
biggest key thing when you were in
Knowledge.
political positions.
knowledge.
Knowledge
You don't
is
have
power.
to. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't be doing the work. There's tons of people to do the work. Give them an opportunity to do the work.
Right.
I mean,
Knowledge is
don't put up
power.
a barrier again where I got to pay all this money for a park or I got to
Right.
do all these other things for a park. That's a barrier, like you said. Now I no longer want to do community work because there's so many barriers in the place. Make it easy for me. Roll out the red carpet. Well, I'm gonna start doing more community work.
I like that.
Okay. Well, we're about to wrap this up. This is good. I could definitely go on another hour. Maybe we'll have a part 2 later on. But I like to throw a little question out to people. I don't have written down. This one would be for Pastor Mitchell. Question is are you thinking about running?
I'm thinking about running.
Nah, that's good.
I am definitely, I've been in prayer about it. And I'm also an agent of change.
I know that's right.
And so with those two qualities, I'm more closer to running.
Yeah.
That I've ever been.
For sure.
Okay, awesome. You talking about county or city?
County.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Got it.
awesome. You heard it here first. I guess I should ask the other Mr. Mitchell. Are you running?
So yeah, I am running for mayor again.
Okay.
It's one of those things again, as the gentleman said. Nothing, no knock to anyone who has had that position. I'm community oriented, man. I'm boots on the ground, and I believe that's a big difference compared to some of the people who we have politically running, who just want to run a great campaign here to one day get to Annapolis. Our objective is to make sure that Salisbury and Wycomico County is always good. I don't have no business in Annapolis. I don't want no business in Baltimore. I don't need those places. Aren't where I live, where I thrive at. My people are right here in Salisbury, right here on the Eastern Shore. So yes, we will be running again in 2027. As of right now, the game plan is to again, just try to get more people who have never voted and try to.
You did set a record for that.
And try to persuade some of those people who did vote before our way. That's one of the reasons, as you said, I'm a shower, not a talker. So if you look at my life, you know that my life is community. That's it. That's all. Like, it's no questions around it. I know they tried to throw some trash in the game last time. I am still an avid gun advocate. I believe everyone should protect their family, especially in today's times. Since that incident, they have nothing now to throw in the game.
There you
That game
go.
that's been a long. I've not gotten in any wrong contact when it comes to. I'm still an avid gun owner who protects and goes to the range.
And that was an accident.
It was an accident. That's why it got dumbed down from what it was, and they were trying to make it to actually an accidental discharge. In the city of Salisbury, no firearm, even if it's owned by you legally, can be discharged. So people have to understand the ordinances.
And you were cleaning it, right?
Exactly. I was actually getting it ready to go to the range, and it actually mishappened and misfired. And thank God nothing ever happened to the lady and things of that nature.
Right.
But they no longer have anything that they can throw dirt on my
There you
name.
go. There you go.
So this time around, I get a fresh, clean slate compared to what others. And as the brother said, man, anyone out there who is interested in running for politics should run for politics. When you feel you can better your community, because I believe people get it so mixed up. And I know this brother will speak to this, we're not politicians, and we're not trying to be politicians.
Right.
The objective is to better your government, to get people who are interested in making their government better. Politics is the experience that you get in the process of bettering your government.
I like that.
I like that.
So when you get a politician, the word lie is right in the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I love it. I love it.
When you get one of those people who play politics, you're going to get a lot of lies because they're not trying to better their government.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and she thinks she's getting away with it. Or are you thinking about running for school board?
That's what's up.
I have people thinking for me. But as for me, I feel like it is a good thing for people like us, who serve the Lord, serve our community, who serve in general, should be in place rather than just talking about it and judging those who are in place. But as for me, I like to stay on the ministry side of it.
I had to do that. I knew the answer to that one. Well, awesome. This has been another Bridging the Gap. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. And
Thank
we're
you
going to
for
need to have we need to have a part 2 of this.
Amen.
All right?
Yeah, for sure.
Down.
All right. Thank you again.